How to sell every listing you take just like a top listing agent. Hey there, Chadi Bazzi here again, and thank you very much for watching this video today where we are going to be talking about how to get your listing sold. In a previous video where I'm going to link it right here and in the description, we showed you exactly what you got to do to go out there and take a listing every single week. In today's video, we're going to show you how to sell 100% of your listings. So let's go ahead and get started right now. So I put down step number one, or point number one, is what I want you to do is I want you to stop playing the numbers game. Stop playing the numbers game. I'm going to say that 3 times. I'm playing the numbers game. Stop playing the numbers game. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of people that you speak to that are going to sell you on this idea that only a certain amount of your listings are going to sell. And as you're doing your business planning or your monthly planning and or going through your goals, you know, you're in the mindset of like, okay, so in order for me to sell 5 listings this month, I gotta take 7 because I'm only selling 65-70% of them. Wrong thinking. What does that say about your commitment to doing whatever it takes to help your clients reach the goal? Now, I'm not talking about like the listings that don't sell because somebody has a death in the family or a condition that can't be overcome. We're not counting those. Those are very few and far in between. What I'm talking about is the people that are motivated to get their property sold and they hired you to get that property sold, and you're gonna do whatever it takes to get that property sold. So step number one is I want you to stop playing the numbers game, meaning you're gonna decide right now, you're going to decide that every listing I take is a listing that is going to sell. So look, everything happens here before it happens out here. So if you decide that it's okay to not sell 100% of your listings, then all your actions and behaviors are going to be congruent. All the reasons why your listings are not selling. Number 2, I put down, never take a listing to just take a listing. Never take a listing to just take a listing. That right there is your ego trying to get another side in the marketplace and or outbeat somebody that you were competing against, and or trying to ease it on your mind because you've been working so hard to get that listing appointment and you've driven to it and you prepared for it and you battled for it and fought for it and did everything to get it, and you took it just for the sake of taking it. Never take a listing to just take a listing. Why? Because listings that do not sell, number 1, they hurt your credibility in the marketplace. Number 2, it's not good for your name brand awareness, because in essence, what you did in that moment is you advertise yourself to all the agents in the marketplace that who you are is someone that takes listings that can't be sold. You just got done advertising yourself to the entire block, to the entire neighborhood, to the entire subdivision that you are an agent that cannot get a property sold. So taking a listing, okay, that you already know is not going to sell and you take it just for the sake of taking a listing, it's doing you more harm than good. Number 3, you gotta have some seller minimum standards in place. Seller minimum standards in place. Like now, if I have a conversation with agents, you know, just about anywhere minus some top listing agents that we're working with, they don't have seller minimum standards. So seller minimum standards, what I'm talking about is a perfect seller is someone who's motivated to sell. Look, if they're just testing the market, trying to get a price that is above average price just to test it, to see what happens kind of thing, we already know the likelihood of that listing is not going to sell. The likelihood of working with that seller is going to be a difficult conversation in and out. It's going to be a difficult relationship. And the last thing that we want to do is work with someone who is going to take us off track from all the things that we need to be doing every single day because they're continuously disturbing you and blaming you for the property not seller. Look, if they are not motivated to sell, like they don't have to sell, they want to sell but don't have to sell, I ain't taking that listing. Because the psychology of that is if you got 3 of these people that you're working with right now, then the psychology is your psyche is going to believe that you are in a good place because you have 3 properties, meaning you have 3 checks that are coming sometime in the near future. And that is very, very far from the truth. So only work with motivated, I want to sell my home kind of seller. The next thing is in regards to standards of place. I only want to work with sellers who have realistic expectations in place. They're not buying into the media hype. They're not watching the news. They don't got someone else in their ear. They're not looking for the pie in the sky kind of thing. I only want to work with realistic sellers. So that right there is one of my standards. If they're not realistic, I am not going to work with them. And I know some of you guys are probably working with those people because you're not doing the things that we're telling you to do to go out there and take a listing every single week. Again, in the description, I'm going to link the video on how to take a listing every single week. So make sure you watch that video, okay? Because there's the game plan. And if you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that who you are is someone that has a specific set of things that they got to do every single day, and you have the discipline to do these things every single day, then you are going to get that result every single week. So motivated sellers only, sellers who are realistic, and sellers who trust you and follow your lead. Sellers who are going to trust you and follow your lead. Look, here's the thing. You trust your doctor, you follow their prescription. You are the real estate doctor. If you can develop that kind of relationship, I'll tell you what we're not gonna do is we're not gonna blame the seller for that. We're gonna take responsibility for that, because that simply means that you need to develop a new level of skill and a new level of influence to where you have a step-by-step strategy to get people to like you, trust you, and want to work with you. And we have a ton of videos on that here on this channel. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe now so you can be notified, and then hit the bell notification so you can be notified every time we release a new training to help you become a top listing agent. Next thing I put down, when you take the listing, it's gotta be priced right. Priced right. No ands, no ifs, no buts, no guessing game. You already know that the price is what's going to sell the property. If it is priced $20, $30, $40, $50, $100,000 overpriced, people know, agents know that you are crazy and they are crazy, and they're not gonna come in and take a look at that property. And if they're not gonna come in and take a look at that property, it ain't gonna sell. So you're probably, thinking to yourself, how do I get them to price it right? Well, if you're asking yourself that question, then it simply means you need a lot of help with your listing presentation. So make sure to check in the description for a video that is going to help you put together the right framework to get your sellers to price property correctly. So if it's not priced, we're not taking the listing. Next point, get the home show ready. Get the home show ready. Well, there's a lot of clutter. There's a lot of this. There's a lot of that. The curb appeal is ugly. The screen doors are broken. The windows are foggy with dust and all that good stuff because they ain't clean. Look, unless this is like a flip property, an investment property, a tear down property, it's got to be an easy home show ready listing. So you have a conversation with the sellers. This is what we got to do to make your property look a little bit more appealing. You make that list. Here's the thing. If you are desperate to take the listing, you're going to take it as is, and you might price it right, and people are going to come in and they are going to be like, yeah, this kind of property kind of needs a lot of work. It's a lot of dirty. And if you get an offer, you're going to get a lowball offer, and then you're going to go present that offer to your seller, and your seller is going to think you're not doing your job. Well, here's how you do your job. You have a real conversation with your sellers about exactly how to get that property show ready. The more show ready it is, the faster you are going to get offers. Next step, make it easy to show. Make the property easy to show. This whole entire thing of like people can only come and see the property between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. every single day, or they can only come see it on the weekends, or only Tuesdays, Thursdays, etc. kind of thing. Look, we can still sell property that way, but it's not the ideal way, because a lot of people, they have work too, they have a life too. Okay, they have children too, they have obligations, they have a lot of things between the realtor, the buyers, and the mortgage rep, and everybody else involved in this transaction. The more easy to show the property is, the more showings is gonna get, hands down. So you need to explain that to your sellers and make the property as easy as possible to access. Next step, Use professional photography and videography. Need I say more about this point? I don't think I need to. I know you always complain when you go in the MLS to take a look at somebody's listing that you want to show, and you're like, what the heck is going on with that realtor posting pictures like this? I'm not going to show this property to my buyers. All of a sudden, that property is getting way less showings. So to increase the amount of showings that the property is getting, we must have very good photography and videography, because you know a lot of agents, what they do is they put their buyers on auto listing format from the MLS to where they get all the new listings. So they're getting access to what's in the MLS, and they're seeing these pictures, and they're deciding whether they want to go see those properties or not. If that's the case, we want to make sure that the buyers that are getting these notifications through the MLS about our listings, they're going to say, wow, that one shows very good based on the video, based on the pictures. I want to go ahead and see that property. And then I put down the following: to sell every listing you take, you must have a very strong skill set. You must have a very strong skill set, which is going to give you the belief that it's okay to walk away from a seller who's not realistic, who's not motivated, who doesn't trust me, who's not following my lead, and saving you a lot of time in the process. It's also going to give you the belief that who you are is someone that knows exactly what it is they're doing, exactly what it is that they need to do, and exactly what it is that they need to say, when to say it, how to say it, and have a process and have a system in place to be able to generate listings on demand. So you gotta work very, very, very much on developing your skills, which we have a lot of videos in regards to that on the channel. I'll link some in the description for you below. And again, for all the future videos that we're releasing, make sure you subscribe to the page, you hit that notification bell so we can notify you right away of all those new videos. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.